Hey yo guys, welcome into the channel, welcome into Juno Plays. I hope everybody's doing well, man. So today we're going to be speaking about Mr. Beast, man, and everything that is going on with Mr. Beast, and there's a lot and it's all negative, man. Um yeah, before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe and really do appreciate the support. So there's so much going on. I have to write it all down. I don't normally write stuff down for these videos. I basically just react to what's happening. But there is so much happening with Mr. Beast that I have to write the stuff down, man, because I kind of have to tell the story in a way for the people that do not know what's happening with Mr. Beast. I'll give a short summary of what is happening, and then I'll give my 2 cents. I'll give my 2 cents. So for me personally, there was a moment. There was a moment where Mr. Beast completely messed up. He completely messed up. And my suggestion to Mr. Beast, well, this is in hindsight, obviously. But if I was, I don't know, people might attack me for this, but if I was in his shoes at that time, I would have done something. And it wouldn't have been easy, but for me as a creator, for me as my brand, for me as my target audience, the majority of my target audience, I would have done this action. And I will get into that after I go through everything that's happened with Mr. Beast, man. He's the biggest YouTuber. He's the biggest YouTuber. So I mean, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I don't think Mr. Beast is gonna fall. Honestly, I think he's gonna take a lot of slack. He might need to take a bit of a rest. But I think he'll find his feet again. I don't think him personally done too much wrong. But he's going to take bullets, man, and he's just gonna have to roll with the punches. So, where do we start, man? So, on the 25th of, yeah, okay. Before we go into the story, the thing that I would have done as Mr. Beast, because I was watching Mr. Beast around about the Squid Games era. I haven't really watched much before and much after, but around about the Squid Game era, I was watching Mr. Beast, as much people was. I mean, he was growing, and I think that was almost like a growth spurt in a way, because everybody was like watching Mr. Beast. I was watching like old videos of him, and it was just everybody was watching Mr. Beast, man. And he has a friend who is known as Chris Tyson, who is now a trans individual. Now, I don't like to speak about trans because my views on trans people is it's very strong. Yeah, like I it's hard to leverage this against the whole LGBTQ community, but specifically trans people. I mean, if you change your gender, you my view is that you probably, and this is take a religion out as being a sin, take all that out. Just my personal view as me, Juno, is that you hated yourself at one time. You hated yourself at one time. You either hate your past self, or you're going to end up hating your future self, because to transition, that is so much change, man. Like the person you were or the person you are, because the reason why I say you're going to hate your future self is because maybe you won't, but that amount of change, you're not acting as a other gender. You are literally changing, like your personality, like so much has to change mentally. So much has to change mentally, and to go through that, I feel like to take that leap. I use the word hate because it takes so much. It takes so much, and that is my view. So for me personally, if I was Mr. Beast, and this is in hindsight, guys. As soon as Chris went trans, I would have cut him from the show. And the reason for me cutting him from the show is due to the fact that a lot of my viewers is young. So I haven't done the research, but I'm talking out of my behind here, but Mr. Beast viewers is probably anything from, I'd say maybe as young as 7, but majority I'll say from like 11, 13, going all the way up to 21. I'll say that's like the core, and then there'll be some older people, but the majority is in that 13 to 21. And when you on this end of the scale, 13, 11, 12, you are not the target market. Your parents are. As much as you are an individual coming into your teenage years, I think some of them are still children. Some of them are not teenagers. Some of their children are still under the parents' influence. And Disney's felt this. A lot of the recent movies has been flops. And if I was Mr. Beast, I would have cut him, even though he was my lifelong friend. He would have to choose. And he didn't choose. He obviously chose to stick with him. And now there's a lot coming out. So that's my 2 cents on Tyson. And all this comes from Tyson. So the story goes, on the 25th of July, there was YouTube videos released that Chris, or now known as Ayoh Tyson, was grooming young Mr. Beast fans. Now this is also um, a stigma of the trans community, of the LGBTQ community. This is a stigma. I'm calling it a stigma, um, but there's obviously proof. But I'm going to call it a stigma because it's almost like something that's common with him. It's almost like something that's common with him. So there's proof. There's Discord chats released about him grooming. There was one individual came out named Lava um, SG or something like that, and she said that she was never forced into anything. She was never groomed, or I don't know if it's a he or she, but he or she was never forced into anything, was never groomed, never exploited, and never taken advantage of. That is one individual. Um, but we don't know how many there were. That's like the problem. Like it's like kind of open ended. Only one person came out and said, like nothing crazy happened. And then 3 days later, so now that comes out. That comes out, man, and that's big. And Mr. Beast is like, I'm gonna do an internal investigation, blah 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 blah. So that's why I said nothing is really on him. Um, but yeah, he's gonna be taking bullets, man. If I was Mr. Beast, I'm turning into Neo. I'm like moving forward because at the end of the day, I'm sure he'll be fine. He just needs to navigate his way, man. Okay, so then 3 days later, Ava's assistant, Jesse, Jess or Muskin, what? Muskina, or known as Jess or Muskina. So Muskina is this person's Twitter handle. So Jess comes out and she writes this. Yo, this is. I barely read it. If you guys want it in the description or some sort of a link, I can get it for you guys. But this long ass post, man, on Twitter about how she was sexually assaulted by Ava. So she was Ava's assistant, and she basically she was a Mr. Beast fan, and as far as I know, she also transitioned, and Chris or Ava was interested in her, and they started chatting, and she became her assistant. And from what I can see, I didn't like read the whole thing because it's like super long. But from what I can see, this was like a one-sided sexual relationship. So it's like me getting her or him or her getting me done, and then I'm just getting up and like you can do your thing over there, like that kind of a relationship. I didn't see anything about sexual assault, but obviously, a one-sided sexual relationship is never a good thing for anybody involved. And maybe she just saw this opportunity. She saw this opportunity to come out and make an accusation that she was sexually assaulted, and maybe she was. Maybe that will still come out. maybe that will still come out, but from what I have seen, I don't think she was sexually assaulted. Um, I just think it wasn't a good relationship, and it was very one-sided. Um, like Chris or Ava was like a big a, a big deal, in the YouTube space. Many fans and whatever, and taken advantage of completely taken advantage of, and that's the way that I saw it. But obviously, I'm not telling her how to feel. That's just the way I saw it. And then 2 days ago, what is 2 days ago? I think today's the 11th. So about the 8th of August, 2 days ago, Mr. Beast's ex, um, Midi Spadell. Midi Spadell comes out and she goes onto her Instagram and she posts this image of it's a pink background, and she at YouTube, and she basically tells them that they need to evaluate who they put on the trending page. Um, and this is all like in the space of, I think it was from the 25th of July to like 2 days ago, which is the 8th of August. What's that, about 2 3 weeks? Like Mr. Beast is taking bullets, and the way it's going, other people's gonna come out. Mr. Beast is massive. Mr. Beast is massive. And there's been things in the past where I've seen YouTube videos where people talk about working for Mr. Beast and why they left. And I haven't really watched it, but when there's trans when there's minors involved and grooming and mistreating of women, things is gonna blow up, man. Things is gonna blow up. And this is what's happening here with Mr. Beast. And the way I see it, I don't think he's personally done anything wrong um, in his world. I just think he needs to be careful about the people he surrounds himself with. That is my message to Mr. Beast. He needs to be careful about who he surrounds himself with. And everybody should be careful, man. Everybody should be careful. So, Midi, I think I got the name wrong the first time. Midi comes out, and she basically tells YouTube to be careful about who they post on the trending page. She then posts another post about 5 paragraphs, and she speaks about how she's been quiet for years, how she doesn't want any drama, how she's been for many therapy sessions, um, there's no user manual to dating a famous person. And then she kind of ends off saying um, how if somebody treats other women, or she's obviously referring to males, how if somebody treats other women in a certain way, eventually they're going to treat you in that way. And she's basically saying that Mr. Beast treated her wrong. There's no like, we can only speculate about what he done. He could have just been like a guy. He could have just been a bit of an asshole, a bit of a dick, and obviously she interpreted it in a certain way, or it can be like worse, where he actually done stuff intentionally. We don't know, man. But Mr. Beast is taking knock after knock after knock, and like I said, man, at the beginning of this video, as soon as Ava, Chris, whatever they want to call themselves, when trans, Mr. B should have cut it, man, because this is he, like, even though he had help from people around him, he built this, man. And especially when your target audience is like, yeah, okay, these older people, 18, whatever, maybe 30 people in their 40s watching it, but he has young kids, man. I'm sure there's a 7-year-old watching his videos. I'm sure there's a 6-year-old watching his videos. I'm sure there's 13-year-old people. Oh, there's definitely. There's proof of that, because one of the people that were groomed was 13. As soon as you have that age group, man, you must be careful, man. You must be careful. You must be careful how you trade, man. Anyway, guys, that's my 2 cents, man. I just think he should have cut Chris as he went trans, man. And he might have taken the backlash. Either way, he would have taken the backlash. Now he's taking the backlash because he didn't cut her. I'm gonna be respectful. He didn't cut her. He would have taken backlash, but he's taking backlash anyway. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be fine. But let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. I mean, there's obviously the grooming, there's the sexual assault, as it's been called out. There's Mr. Beast mistreating women. I mean, the mistreating woman part, that's like so open ended, man. I mean, any it's almost like any guy could have been in that situation, but he's Mr. Beast, you know. He could have been like with her and then maybe cheated, like, or maybe he was just a bit of a dick to her because he was famous and she wasn't. I mean, it could have been small, it could have been big. It's extremely open ended. I'm not going to be here judging Mr. Beast on things I do not know. Only what I do know, and what I do know is here in front of me. So let me know what you guys think about any of these topics regarding Mr. Beast, man. Let me know what you would have done if you were in Mr. Beast's shoes and you had this massive YouTube channel, and one of your co-hosts was going down a different path of life, which could ultimately affect your viewership and your viewers in their lives. And yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.